Well, today I have an update video for you on my Terraforming Norrath project. Last time, this is how everything looked, and today, here's how everything looks now. I'll show you the overview first, and then I'll show you some zoomed in details. So this is the continent of Antarctica. As you can see here, we've got the entire terrain for the map is 100% complete. Finally, after just months and months of probably a couple hours every other day going through hand sculpting all of the terrain, it's finally complete. And for the last month and a half, I've been working on painting all the terrain here. And at the moment, I'm working on painting in the road networks, as you can see here. And after that, there will just be the custom objects layer, which is going to be mostly custom trees, and I want to have stuff on the seafloor. And then I think it is done and ready for me to render out completely 100% and start building. But before we do that, I'll pan around and give you an overview of everything. We'll start over here with the continent of Otis. I've completed the road network on this. Let me zoom in a bit here. There we go. Up here, this is going to be the high city of Aruden. And over here, filling in all these road networks, this is going to be farmland, and I think we'll have cattle ranches out here. And we've got a bit of a desert out here. There's not much to go, so there's only one road going through that. And we have the Stonebrot Mountains here in the middle, and Toxulia Forest, Kara Island, and the Hole down here, the city of Payneil. Let's zoom in a little on that. I'm really happy with how the mountains have finally come out on this map. This took most of the time it's taken me to build this map has been in learning how to do these mountains and make them look like this. Because previously, I wasn't happy with how it was going before, so I had to pretty much do what I didn't want to do, which is go in and hand sculpt all of them. Like all these terrain, all these little hills, it's all hand sculpted. And I think we've got our islands down here. These are going to be covered in jungle and palm trees. That's another custom tree I'll have to make, a palm tree. And let's go across the ocean here. Here we have the plains of Karana. This is sort of the breadbasket of Norrath. There's going to be a lot of grain fields and farm fields in this area. And you can see just in South Karana here, we have a little knoll paw, which is the entrance to a split paw or infected paw. The layer of the knolls. Down here we have Lake Rathatir, or Wraithtir. And here we have jungle areas. And down here we're going to have a nest of pirates. This is where I'm going to put the pirate-themed city. It's going to be down here. Here we have an extinct volcano. This is where my large pyramid is going to go. It's going to be the Temple of Khazak-Thul down here in the jungle. And I can't do it in worldpainter. I'm going to have to do this by hand, but there's going to be a waterfall going down here. There's several waterfalls that I have planned. And in all these places where you see the roads cross the water here, there's going to be a bridge that'll have to be built to cross that. And we're down here now in Inathul Swamp. The city of the trolls is going to be down here, and the frogs will be over here. Heading north to the Desert of Ro. We've got the Oasis of Mar here, and some very dry and sandy mountains. And this is sort of like Egypt, is how I've framed this. It's got a little floodplain that cuts through here. It branches off from one of the main rivers. And over here we have the common lands, another area of intense agriculture. Over here will be Freeport. I think the spawn for this map is going to be somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. Yep. North from there we have Nectalos Forest is going to be in here. And underneath here is going to be Neriak, the city of the Dark Elves. They're going to live under these mountains. And here is Kithkor Forest. Here is Rivervale. And the Misty Thicket. This is sort of like the Hobbit/Shire area of the map. And we have some snow-covered mountains. And High Pass goes through here. You can just see the High Pass road snaking through the mountains here. And here we have Beholder's Maze, or the Gorge of King Zorb. It's going to be through here. It's a mesa area. That's what I decided to make it. And let me see. Let's go this way. There's a canyon that cuts through with the river here. It goes all the way up to Halas in the north. This is sort of a hot spring / Yellowstone type area. It's of Sunday Rock Springs. And here we have, let's back down a little. We have the Quanos Hills here. And up from that we have the Jagged Pine Forest. And up from that we have the Unkempt Woods. And you see the road to Halas snakes through here. This terrain in the north is so rugged, there's only one road besides the river to get up to the frozen northern areas here. And let's take a good look at the frozen north here. This is permafrost and everfrost. I'm really pleased with how this has come out. Just look at those frozen mountains layered with ice and snow. They look just as good in the game in the portions I've rendered out and taken a look at. And up here in the north, we have up here the polar ice caps that stretch all along the northern and southern borders of the map. And we have some barren and frozen islands. If one of you wants to set up a shop on, set up a base up there, you can do that. And we've got ice frozen and floating around everywhere up here. And then once you get to the city of Halas up here of the barbarians, they're sort of like the Vikings. Everything is pretty much frozen, and you can't take a boat around anymore. You have to go around to the south. And over here we have the Frigid Plain. It's sort of like an ice plain. I took some inspiration from the planet Pluto, well, formerly the planet Pluto, for this. With the pattern I chose on this, it's sort of like the big ice glacier that it has on it. I think it's actually, was it a nitrogen glacier? I forget what it was made of. And over here we have some more the northern areas and frozen islands and more ice. And up here we have sort of like a Borean type tundra area up here. And this, I'm especially pleased with how this came out. Let's take a good long look at this. This is Lava Storm. The Lava Storm Mountains. We've got lakes of lava and netherrack, and instead of snow on the mountains, we have obsidian. Obsidian and netherrack and soul sand, and a lot of magma blocks, and rivers of lava. And you can just see here we've got lava in the active volcanoes here. There's several of those. There's like, what, 7, 8, 9 of those? But this area is very rugged. So in Lava Storm, there's a road that leads into Lava Storm, but once you get in there, you're just on your own. I especially like how this came out with the brush settings I was able to do for this to get the terrain on the mountains to look. I mean, it looks even better in the game. I wish the default nether would generate like this instead of how it does, but that's neither here nor there. So let's zoom out a little here. I think I hit all the high points in Antonica. So we will move across the... This is either the Ocean of Tears or the Timoris Deep. I forget which one this is. We will move across to the continent of Fedor. And the Dwarven City will be down here. This is the Butcher Block Mountains. And in between that and Rathnox Ridge, this area here, is the Lesser Fedark. That's going to be a forested area. I haven't done the roadways in this section yet. This is still what I'm working on as of the moment. Then we've got Dagnor's Cauldron down here, and Kedge Keep, and Unrest is somewhere down there. The Abandoned Haunted Estate. And here we have the Loping Plains, and Castle Mistmoor is going to be somewhere on this hill. It's going to look really good here with all these mountain ridges and the reflections off the lake. It's going to look really good. And let's go across here. Here we have the Greater Fedark. It's a very large forested area. It's where the Wood Elves live. We have the lair of the Crushbone Orcs is going to be in here. And here's the location for the Wizard Spire. It's just marked with a little piece of granite. And up here is the High Elven City of Felwythe. It's an entrance through the mountains here, and then you have to go through an entrance either side of here. Then we have North Felwythe here, and Southern Felwythe down here, which is sort of in a... it's either an old crater or a collapsed volcanic caldera, but it's inactive either way. Then we have some islands off the coast here. Those islands just look really good. I'm very happy with those. I don't know how much time I spent hand sculpting all of these islands. You'll see. There's one up here to the north. Over... where is it? Here. Yeah. This is sort of a tundra type mountain. And we've got some more mountains here with forest in between them, another lake, the end of Rathnox Ridge, and a sort of mesa area with another floodplain river going through it. It's like a desert, but it's just not quite that bad, but it's still rather harsh. And then we've got another lake here. I think this might be Elzerian Lake. I don't remember what it's called. More mountains. These are the Steamfont Mountains now. And an extinct volcano here, underneath which is the gnomish city of Akanon, is underneath this. And this is the Mushroom Island biome for the map right here that I've chosen. Let's zoom out and give you a good overview of Fedor. Let me see if I can center it. There we go. Feel free to pause at any point during the video if you want to take longer looks at them. And from there, we will move south onto the Ixar continent of Kunark. Ah, Kunark. This took so long to do. Almost as long as Antonica took to do. It's just that large and involved. Let's start over here in the Burning Woods. Of course, the reason they're burning is because we have impact craters. I've chosen 4 impact craters, and I've colored them out with mesa. Sort of like we have impact ejecta around the rim of the crater here, and sort of like underground rock layers that have been exposed. That's my plan for it anyway. And some of them are partially flooded and some of them aren't. You'll notice on Kunark the mountains are more red, and I put, I think they're like 50 to 70% granite. So all over Kunark we have granite mountains, whereas in the first three continents we have primarily gray mountains. And here we have the Skyfire Mountains, and the largest volcano on the map here, and another lava lake. This is Kunark's version of the Lava Storm Mountains that we looked at. It's the same type of terrain. I just made a copy of it over here with a little twist here and there to it. And then we move into the over there area. This has got sort of, this is like the Grand Canyon of Norrath here. It snakes all the way around here. And along the coast here, we've got the Red Desert area. Let me zoom out a little. The Red Desert area along here with a little mesa slapped on the top of it. And over here we have the Frontier, I think these are the Frontier Mountains. They butt up against the Dreadlands over here, which is another mesa area. And Carnor's Castle is going to be somewhere around here, I think. It was kind of in the middle, so. And in the middle of the continent, we have the Lake of Ill Omen. It's the largest lake in the world. And it only has one river, and it all spills out and creates the Swamp of No Hope. And it's got several old little river channels here all over the place. And there's two primary ways that it snakes through here. And all that empties out into a large river delta down here, which is the Verona Bay area. And the Elven city of Verona Bay is going to be down here, just off the coast. And over here, across the Tracanon Mountains, we have the Emerald Jungle. All this area here is going to be one huge jungle with the wizard spires marked. And red granite there. Another river delta down here. And over here we have the Field Bone. This area I've set up as a dry lake bed. This used to be all a lake, but the banks were eroded away down here and it all gushed out. And it's now a dry lake bed mesa type area. And in between that and the Lake of Ill Omen is the Ixar city of Kabilis. East and West Kabilis, you can see here. It's got a lot of water canals in it. And it's situated in between these sort of mid-level mountain ridges. And over here we have the, I forget, this is a forest area. I forget the name of it. And over here we have some offshore islands. And this little area over here, which is going to be sort of another woodland. And let's zoom out and take a good look at the continent of Kunark. I think I covered everything. And of course we have the polar ice caps here to the south, which of course lead us over to the frozen continent of Velius, which is just coming into view. You can see here the ice-clad ocean. It's actually living up to its name. It's quite clad in ice. And let me zoom into this. Velius took quite a long time to do also because it's almost all mountains. icy mountains with trees here and there when appropriate. I'm going to have to construct my own ice trees also to have frozen forests, I think. It's kind of low resolution in this preview here, but it looks really good in the game. You'll take my word for it for the moment. But if you like ice biomes, you're just going to love Velius. And over here we have the Eastern Wastes with Sleeper's Tomb down over here, and the Frost Giant Fortress in here, and the Orc Fortress of the Rygor Orcs over here. And in the middle around here we have the Great Divide. The Wizard Spire is going to be around here somewhere, I think. And in the middle of it, you'll notice this green area. This goes all the way down to the bottom. This is pretty much from build height all the way down the mountains, all the way down to the bottom. And this is going to be sort of a lush jungle area. Because it's so deep, it hits sort of geothermal vents open up all along here and release heat and make a sort of microclimate, which allows there to be a green area in the middle of the frozen continent. And over here we have Cobalt Scar, a frozen area. The Dragon City of Skyshrine is going to be around here somewhere. Which leads us into the Western Wastes along here. And you can see the four scars in the middle of Velius. We have the scar here for the Temple of Vishan, the scar here for Dragon Acropolis, and the scar here for the Awakening Lands, and the fourth scar here for Cobalt Scar, which is filled with water because it's exposed to the ocean, and the other scars aren't. But they are all below sea level. And we have here, this is a sort of a Berean tundra style area. It's going to be a pine forest, but heavily frosted. You can see I've mixed in a lot of permadirt, and there's a little bit of grass, a lot of podzol, and snow. And let me zoom out all the way to give you a complete look at the frozen continent of Velius. I think it's come out pretty good. Oh, I should also remark the mountains here are primarily diorite, which is why they look so white, because I wanted it to be the gray contrast with the snow was a bit too much, so I decided to actually use diorite for the frozen mountains of Velius here, and we used granite for Kunark, and for the rest of them we used andesite and normal stone and cobble mix for the rest of the world. And let me see, this is as far as I can zoom out. So I'll zoom out here, and you can pause if you want to take a longer look at these areas. This is the farthest I can get out. And there we are over here. I think that about covers that. Let me go back to the top-down area of the map, as you can see here. This is where I primarily do all the work. And this gives you a good overview. And of course, all this has been based on this photo here, which this is up to the Scars of Velius, so this is what, 2002? Somewhere around there. 2002, 2003, I think is when this map would be from. But let me put it off here to the side and do some side-by-side comparisons so you can see if the final result I've come up with does justice to the original. I mean, it's not a very detailed map to start with, but I've done what I could. So here we see Otis side by side. You can see the hole here and the barren coast. I've made it a desert area here. And Kara Island over here and everything. City of Rudin, the Grand Plateau, Toxilia Forest. You can see it all labeled here. So they only had like, what, 1, 2, 3. They only had 5 little islands down here. Well, I added a few more when I was doing the terrain for this. I wanted to make it look as realistic as possible is what I went for with this map. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. And let's take a side-by-side look at Antonica. Like that. Let's zoom out a little. There we go. Oh, Antonica took so long to do. It's very intricate with all these little zones piled up next to each other. But I've done my best to remain faithful to the original map, but also make it as realistic as possible. And let's move on from there and take a look at Fedor, like here. There we go. A couple of areas I had to take a little creative license on. I added a lake to Rathnog's Ridge here and a river coming out of the Way Under Lake. I also added a river in the Greater Fedor. It doesn't have one in the game, even though it should. And we will go down from there and give a side-by-side of Kunark, like so. And the last one we will look at is Velius. Can't quite get it all in the frame here. But anyway, so this is what I have so far. Now, about timing for a download. It's well past time I did one of those. I think I want to at least finish laying down the road network. And I mean, I would really like to finish the entire thing, but it's already been so long that I think what I will do is I will finish the road network. And before I add in the custom trees, I think I'll just briefly probably add in the default Minecraft trees in the appropriate areas and try and get the biomes correct. And then I'll put out that version, and then I'll keep working on the one with all the custom trees and the custom objects and everything that I want to have in it for the final version. And I'm not sure how long that's going to take to do, because some of those objects I have to build from scratch. Because this is still a 1.12.2 map is what the version is going to be in. So it doesn't have any of the aquatic update features, so I'm going to have to make my own corals and seagrass and everything to go in it. But it's all still going to be strictly vanilla, so you won't need any mods to play this map. I think I will make another very short video when the download for this is ready, and it'll just be a very short announcement video. And from there you can download it and take the tour yourself. Be forewarned though, this map is going to be several gigabytes in size. I'm actually not sure how I'm going to host it yet either. but I'll have a link to it somewhere. And please do comment below and let me know what you think of the work I've done so far over the past, gosh, how many months has it been? Too many. 8 or 9 months since I made the initial announcement video, I think. But I hope you're all going to be pleased with this. If you're original EverQuest fans, I think you're going to be very pleased with this. And even if you're not, I think you'll find this world highly enjoyable. So with that said, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.